and everybody is calling for your attention at once, then you find that it's usually not about the gender. Okay. It's just down to the fact that there is something that needs, in that scenario, it could just be, for some people, their need is just me. It's me, attention. Yes, for some people, it could be a product they're trying to, it could be a business relationship, it could be anything. But the fact is that it's not always about the how. There's a reason for it, which is the fact that in your situation, it could be, I'm not secured, I don't feel safe, and I need to check on it. Some people just care about you. Some people feel that you just need someone to show. And don't deceive yourself. The same you that get home and you demand a certain level of care from your spouse, then when she's doing it, Mama, you guys...
See me, I don't even understand. When she's doing it now, you're complaining, and it's still you that, if she's not doing it, she'll still complain again. I'm very sure if your woman wasn't texting you, you'd be probably thinking, doesn't she know that she's not even check up on me today? She's not even check up on me today. But then now you're complaining that it's too much.
Like, I just feel there should be a balance. For work, it could go over and beyond, especially when we're having a conversation or a business transaction. Quite all right, that's okay. But when we're dating or my spouse or whoever, I just feel there should be a balance. You should not be checking me up.
But just like he said, if you're not replying that message doesn't mean you're not replying somebody else's message. That's smart. I picked that one out of everything he said. Because the truth is, when you're not replying her message, you're probably replying, the girl on the other side.
Well, I'm probably working as well.
Also,
Say what now?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so more about texting. Do you think that this age that we are living in now has made it more for us to leave those other rooms? You were trying to explain something, that there are other forms of communication.
Yes.
We can talk, you can wait till when you see me, and then you express yourself, and we talk about other things. But now everything just goes to me picking up my phone and chew, and that's the end. And I feel, okay, it's all gone. Do you think that this jet age, this world we are in around now, has made things so, should I say complicated? Is the word complicated now? Or should I use the word, there's a word I'm looking for, but I can't really get it. But I'm just trying to say that it's making things so, jumping what we're supposed to just take our time to amend, the fast way out. You just take a phone, and when we're supposed to have a conversation where you sit down and I sit down, and if there's any issue, we should be able to talk and trash it out than just going on the phone and blah, blah, blah. Do you think it does that?
Yes, it does actually. Yes, I would say this. Usually, if you were to, if you found yourself in that situation where you needed to speak out, but you would also understand that if you were to do that in such a way that the person is in front of you and you need to express yourself, there's always this consciousnness about how the person would react, right? And it guides it puts a kind of, control as to how you express yourself. But then what I found about text messages is the fact that a lot of times when you need to say some things and you want to damn the consequence, it's the best way to do that. So somehow, that still comes to the power of words. The question is, while that is the environment, that's the trend, That is what, the current, the evolution of technology and all those things have brought. The question is that in terms of the choice of words, are people also evolving? So meaning, there's a way you can say one thing and it has different meanings.
True.
Now, and the difference is actually the way you say it, and because, let me even say this actually. Probably this brings us to the advent of emoticons. There's this change from usual unit text, Unicode text or whatever, to emoticons, then to smileys, and the whole idea of this is that it's at one point it was discovered that what guides a lot of things that we say is our emotions, and initially it was very difficult to express, to convey that emotion, via just those letters, But then over time you found that there's a way someone can send me a text, but just using that,
emoji.
that emoji, exactly, the emojis, I feel a bit more relaxed compared to if you were just to send those things. Why? Those are the things that you would ordinarily do. Those are the things you would be able to, relate with, read to if you were to be with a person, physically. But what has happened now is that while technology has evolved, right, I would say that people have not really evolved. For me, writing a text message, in fact, writing a text and spelling the letters out clearly, it's not enough to express how I feel. How much more when you even have the dates? I don't understand. So it's down to people understand. There was a time I had to sit down when I studied about emojis, the evolution of emojis. I think it was one of these technology companies that started, how it had helped them, to increase their revenue and, in terms of customer experience, how it had really worked out. Then I discovered that there was really a lot for me to learn, Another side to it was that it was easy for me to just pick up an emoji and just, use. I didn't know that there was,
meaning.
there were meanings, Now that we're even talking about dealing with depression and all those things are even more significant than we ever thought. So as we speak, yes, technology has really changed the face of things. The fact is down to the fact that, people seek convenience, and I wouldn't mind. So far, I can do that. In silence, I could be in a BRT bus, I could be, it's very easy for me in terms of confidentiality, secrecy, and all those things. And I could do that on the go. But the question is that while I do that, how well do I also, consider, it's not about what I said, it's about how the person sees it. So at every point, I put those words out there. Is it received the same way it was intended? Do you get? So I think that is still the question about communication that we all need to answer, right? So it's easy for me to do a text and go sleep. But then the person picking up and reading those things, what is the state? So it's down to that second level check that we need to do at every point in time, that when I say things, how does this other person receive it? And it becomes quite challenging, because some of those things you can't retrieve some of them.